Good morning. It's Harvey Jackson from XC Grain Marketing. Just going to go through some weather updates and crop conditions. Manitoba did not send out their crop scoring, so maybe if I get a chance tomorrow, I'll talk about that. As you can see here, there is some pretty good soil moisture conditions, and it kind of shows up on this next slide even a little bit more. But there is some subsoil issues in the south that it has not been showing up as of right now, or as of last week anyway. Here's your condition scoring that we saw from the USDA from yesterday. And the one thing I want to point out is that the 41% corn silking, which is uh, pretty pretty advanced, and I think it's right near the 5-year average, which is a big jump from 24 to 41. Um, this is stuff that Nutrient Ag, Eric Snodgrass has been talking about. But you can see this is a scoring of moisture in the last 132 years, and you've got some very wet areas over here, dry areas over here, and just into the east area. There's a fair bit of almost record-breaking kind of dry. So you got wet buildup in the middle and dry on either side, and some wetness starting to show up in the from the Gulf in. And temperatures are kind of showing much the same thing. It's actually showing cooler in the middle part of the country, and some of the hottest we've seen in the on either side of us. And if there's anything that could actually impact some yield going forward if this continues. Now, and again, I'm not going to predict. Weather is very hard to predict as well. There was noted that there were some storms that went through here, like tornadoes and everything, and almost we'll have to see what kind of crop damage there has been there. But there's a lot of straight line winds, 100-kilometer or 100-mile-an-hour winds in this corridor as of yesterday afternoon. Just wondering if that's actually created some damage. Here's your just your current radar, little spots of rain, and that is still existing from yesterday. GFS shows like local thunderstorms in areas or little pockets. That doesn't show up as prevalent in the euro, and then the AI euro kind of smooths it all out. But I'm going to show how that AI euro has smoothed everything out for the US model as well. It doesn't show the extreme storms. Here's your highest temperature in the last 7 days at up until the July 14th, always a little bit of a delay. So you can see that the Manitoba and eastern Saskatchewan got into the uh, uh, 23 to 28 and got quite a bit hotter in those other areas, or 28 to 33. So anyway, and here's your drought index. We're starting to see some drought over here. I traveled yesterday going into close to Regina, and the crops are poor in that area. So I don't know what's going on over here or over here, but subsoil shows that it's decent over here, but there's some weaker looking crops right where that dot is at the moment. And you can probably see that on this map as well, your soil moisture percentile for the 0 to 10 centimeters. And you can see that there is some dryness starting to show up in these other regions. That's from the NASA uh, soil moisture maps. Canola up with the other oil seeds, or soybean oil up a little bit, palm oil up, crude oil down, and but we've had some pretty bad down days in the last little bit here. So here's canola, and just I've got some arrows on here, just kind of showing slow stochastics and just some uptrends and downtrends, when to buy, when to sell, kind of thing. If we're going to be do day trading, it's not a perfect measure either, but it just gives me a bit of an idea of what to entry points and exit points. Soybean oil, we've got a little bit of green on the screen, which is great. And it hasn't went down as far as the canola had in the past here either. So hopefully we can, soybean oil can actually hold us up a little wee bit here. Here's your European rapeseed, same thing. As long as we can hold up, it's got a little bit of a positive day here, but it doesn't have that same length down as the other commodities. Here's your soybean, your rapeseed priced in Canadian dollars minus your canola, and we have still following a trend here, but we are down uh, from the $100 high that we've seen, but we're still in this uptrend that we're showing here right now. Forward crush margins have um, basically faltered a little wee bit the last short little while here as well. Global soybean ending stocks. I thought I would just show this. This is an update from the latest USDA that came out on Friday, so some of their numbers. So global and soybean ending stocks is going to be the highest ever, which uh, yeah, there's a reason why the market has actually got a lot of pressure to it. So wheat, um, same thing. I just showing some of the slow stochastics and how that uh, you would play out in that scenario. But still a pretty strong downtrend with a little bit of positivity today. Hopefully we can continue to bounce off. Same thing with the hard red winter. And here the euro is actually trying to test the 78.6, and hopefully it can actually hold up. But what it does tell me that there is some potential more downside to get to 6 months lows that we've seen in milling wheat and in Mativ if we're going to get pulled down at all. So global wheat ending stocks actually increased on Friday by just over 5 million metric tons. So we were at 252 million um, uh, before Friday, and that's where we are today. And you do see, where we've been as well as far as global ending stocks on wheat. Uh, just here's your wheat production. Who's actually the bigger growers? China still grows a lot. European Union's next. India, Russia, United States, and Canada. And if we're looking at who's the exporters, that's actually down in this area. We are the exporters down in here. Those are just producing enough for themselves in most cases. European Union does export some as well. Corn. And I'm going to show a few corn slides just to get through that. But here we are. We're at the very close to a $4 mark on corn, falling apart. And some of that is because of the corn ending stocks have increased for the last 3 years, and it looks like it's potentially going to have a big big carry up. And here's your corn ending stocks in the world. It's not as high as it was back in 16 and 17, but it's still going to have some impact on the market here. So China, here's the skew. China has lots of corn ending stocks, and U.S. does as well. And that's here's your producers though. The United States is one of the largest producers. China is next, Brazil, and some of these other countries don't even show up on this previous slide. Uh, and that's all I got for you today. We'll hopefully catch up to you tomorrow. I am at Ag in Motion and in meetings tomorrow and the next day, so we'll try to catch up. If I have time, I'll record.